Well, of course, it's not Elliot, it's Alice, actually. And let's go to wherever this is. Where is this train?
Paddington.
Paddington, right, let's go there, right. And she's going to tell us, this is all about the Elizabeth line. So, Alice, oh my goodness, there's people turned out to see things and whatever.
Right.
Go on, tell us all about that. So, worth the wait?
Oh, I have to say, for the people who've been waiting here since 1 o'clock in the morning, the Elizabeth line is certainly worth the wait. I've been speaking to people who've all been waiting here. People have travelled all the way down from Scotland and various parts of the UK to come down and be the first ones on the train, which I believe leaves at 6:33 from Paddington. So it's an extraordinary opportunity for lots of people who've come down. And I think one of the most amazing things about the Elizabeth line is the way that this is going to impact on people's commuting time. So, for example, if you were normally somebody who travelled from Abbeywood to Paddington, your journey would be over an hour before today. You'd have to change trains. As of today, your journey time has halved, which is absolutely incredible for anyone commuting around London, and it's going to make such huge differences for people who are trying to get in and around the city, not just in London, but also connecting people in the east, in Essex, and also in the west in Berkshire. And there's still more to come, because in autumn those lines will also be joined up, which will mean people can travel through continuously. So I have to say, there's quite a lot of energy here at Paddington Station this morning. A lot of people very excited because, of course, people have been waiting for the Elizabeth line to finish for quite some time.
An element to this story I really wasn't expecting, and perhaps that was silly of me, because this morning in the newsroom loads of people were crawling out of the woodwork as big railway enthusiasts. So, you know, maybe we don't realise there's lots of train spotters amongst us. But look, you know, shiny new train, all well and good, but it's cost an arm and a leg, hasn't it?
It really has. I mean, I have to say, the original mantra was on time, on budget, and my goodness me, it has not been that at all. It was meant to be £15 billion. That's now gone up to £19 billion, which is, just to put into context, double the cost of what it costs to host the Olympics in London. So it's been hugely over budget. It's been 3.5 years late. It was meant to finish in 2018. And look, of course, there have been some circumstances there we couldn't foresee. The pandemic, for one thing, of course, had a massive impact in terms of engineering because things weren't able to take place. But I think it's important to stress this is an absolute feat of engineering. I think that is something we can celebrate today. We have 10 brand new stations in central London that have been built over the last 13 years. I mean, there have been 10,000 workers who've been employed on this. I mean, can you imagine the challenge in trying to borrow holes right under the centre of London as people go about their day in, of course, a very, very busy city. I mean, it's one of the largest railway projects that Europe has ever had. So I think it's important to stress that this has been an enormous challenge, but even the chief executive for Crossrail said they underestimated the complexity of the challenge in trying to integrate different signalling systems, different softwares. So that's one of the reasons why it's been very much delayed. But for the people who are here, who've been camped out since 1 o'clock in the morning, it's very much worth the wait.
Yeah, and that wait will be over very, very shortly. But this is what I say. Do you choose to live in a Victorian society or look at this futuristic stuff? This absolutely, I mean, a round of applause to the engineers, the architects, the people who had the big digging machines under the Thames as well. I mean, this is bringing us into the future, and that's what we're all going to be saying when HS2 is launched as well.
We can't frack, but we can go under the city centre of London and cause earthquakes.
This will be absolutely great. And I think, Alice, very appropriate. You know, I know it's delayed, but it was delayed until it was just time for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. So, I mean, the timing, it all adds to the feel-good factor, doesn't it?
Absolutely. They've just managed it in the nick of time before the Jubilee, and of course under 2 weeks now. Now, the Queen was actually seen here last week. She made a surprise visit, and she was meeting the Mayor for London, she was meeting Boris Johnson, and in fact even got an opportunity, I assume it was her first opportunity, to use Oyster cards. So she was given one, she had to go on the machine and was able to have a little bit of a look around. So I have to say, I'm going to follow in the Queen's footsteps, and I'm going to be leaving Paddington. I'm going to be getting on one of the first trains and heading on to Woolwich and getting a bit of a feel for the new line myself.